Join us today as we experience justice in the 18th century original courthouse building. As we waited for our tour, we realized that this is an interactive experience, and we were each given a role to play and scripts to read that were a real case that took place here. While we were waiting for our interactive tour, we listened to the guide tell us a brief history of the courthouse.
Now that was one of 3 plantations owned by the Pitt Randolphs, and probably is the most famous unknown person in the world.
She also played the role of the Chief Justice of the court.
Just like today, court is not necessarily fun, is it? Right? And so keep that in mind. You're going to hear 18th century terms and expressions and concepts. As a person who does this every single day, 18th century English is not exactly common sense sometimes. Sometimes it's very long-winded.
We were given scripts to read of actual cases that were tried here, and Keith got to be the sheriff.
Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. Silence is commanded in the court while His Majesty's justices are sitting, upon pain of imprisonment. All manner of persons that have anything to do at this court, draw near and give your attendance. And if anyone have any plan to enter or suit to prosecute, let them come forth, and they shall be heard. God save the King.
God save the King!
God save the King!
Jones, come forth and save thee in thy bails, or else thou wilt forfeit thy recognizance.
Okay. Mr. Clerk, please read the presentment in the presence of the accused.
Joshua Jones, carpenter, is presented for not listing and willfully concealing during last year's county tax levy 2 titles, he himself and his slave man Ben, aged 35 or above.
Playing the roles gives you a better understanding of their court.
That was why I bought a slave last year, but he ran away before I owed him 6 months. I'm ruined. Common sense tells us that I do not have to pay tax on myself, since I cannot work, nor on my slave, since he is long gone.
It was so interesting to sit in this original courthouse building and listen to these court proceedings. You can just imagine what it was like back in the 18th century.
Is where your chief habitation is actually located. The man gone to England must still have his attorney enlist his title workers here on June 10th.
As I recall, gentlemen, last year's tax levy was only £25 per title. That would make £50 total. The law has changed, though, that we cannot fine him £2,000 of tobacco as before. However, Mr. Jones, your last statement was a very daring contempt of court. Wouldn't you agree? Even if you don't, it was. What would you say to a fine of £1,000? We're coming down a little bit, plus the £50 for 2 £25 each. Very well, Mr. Jones. The court orders you to pay £1,050 of tobacco and the cost of your prosecution. If you don't, we can sell you for a term of servitude to pay them, and don't think we can't. Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Dudley Richardson, Esquire, come forth to the bar of the King's justice, and thou shalt be heard.
Margaret Baker was by the grand jury found guilty 2 months past of fornication, which was proved by her being with child and by her confession.
Just imagine people being brought to court and tried for fornication this day and age.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Clark. Is there anything you would care to add, Mr. Boo?
Your worships, I surely would not trouble you gentlemen with this matter, but that the defendant will not pay me the reckoning. I have tried and tried and tried to settle this, but I have not gotten even 1 farthing for my pain. All I want is justice.
Well, that is why we are sitting here today, Mrs. Vogt. Mr. Iredale, you haven't made a very good start as a merchant by promising Mrs. Vogt a letter and a bill, and then not paying it. How do you intend to pay for the debt?
May it please the court, lest you think me the vagabond that the plaintiff implies, I would inform the court that I did not come here with empty pockets. I bought good Carolina paper money with which to pay my debts, which the plaintiff refuses to accept. To request more time to make a proper defense. I received notice of this matter only 4 days ago.
Mr. Iredale, I don't know how you do things in your province, but here we found to follow English common law. It allows you 3 days to respond. You have that and an extra day. Good heavens, Mr. Iredale, you don't wait until the court when Mrs. Vogt and court time is being wasted to ask for more time. That doesn't even make sense. Well, gentlemen, there's a motion before the bench for more time. You want to give him more time? I don't. Appropriate. Days, not including Sundays, to pay your debt and the cost of your prosecution. Mrs. Vogt, does this give you the satisfaction you are seeking?
Your honors, what is to keep this person from stealing away in the night? Or what if a promise is made to go get some real money, but you never come back?
Well, she's obviously dealt with North Carolinians before. It's Iredale. If you don't pay within 6 days, the sheriff will sell your horse to pay for the debt. He will take a 6% fee for managing the sale. See that you take care of the matter in a timely fashion, and oh, by the way, welcome to Virginia. Okay, Mrs. Vogt, you can get it.
Process of seeing how 18th century people go to great lengths to find justice in their own time. They had to travel from all over the country to be here to then present these cases. And so I hope you take that to your own places where you live and can sort of engage with your government in whatever way is possible. That's our sincerest hope, at least. So again, I thank you for joining us for Order in Court today. I'll turn back over to the Chief Justice to adjourn the court.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Clark. Mr. Sheriff, please adjourn the court.
All rise.
And you can strike the staff 3 times. There you go.
This court stands adjourned. God save the King.
God
save the King.
Thank you all so very much.
Thank you very much.
I, for one, think Keith did a wonderful job as the sheriff. It was so fun playing these roles. In Colonial Williamsburg, you truly get to experience living history. If you'd like to see some other videos of the historic triangle, click the playlist that just popped up on your screen.